Every time the girl finishes sword practice, she touches her neck. This feeling is very strange. It appears whenever she finishes fighting with her brother, but with his amateur skills, he shouldn't have any chance to touch her. Without exception, she always sends him flying. However, a god's eye view reveals the answer. Unbeknownst to her, at a speed her eyes cannot capture. While receiving her sword, he has already died countless times. Each move is a fatal strike, but he pulls back at the crucial moment. By the time she realizes what's happening, her brother has already returned to his original position. So in her eyes, it seems no different from routinely sending him flying. Of course, this illusion requires acting skill.
お姉ちゃん強いよ。
成長しないわね、あの子。
This is the truth that has troubled the girl for years. After his sister leaves, the male protagonist completely changes his demeanor, effortlessly standing on water. He was born into a rural noble family. This family has carried the swordsman gene for generations. By all rights, he should have been the heir. But unfortunately, due to talent issues, the position went to his adopted sister. Outstanding talent is the family's pride. Under his sister's brilliance, he seems completely like an extra. However, this is merely on the surface. The nighttime protagonist is completely different from his morning self. Only where others cannot see does he drop his disguise. In his previous life, his dream was to become a hidden master, resolving conflicts from the shadows, and it is the same in this life. After easily dealing with the thieves, the protagonist immediately begins collecting treasures. Then the caged monster catches his interest, neither human nor ghost, yet a living organism, with extraordinary magical fluctuations. The protagonist decides to take it back for experiments. After all, such specimens are rare. However, while that's what he said, unexpectedly, a month later, the monster undergoes an astonishing transformation. About to wake up at the sight of the girl, although the protagonist is surprised, his outward reaction doesn't match his behind-the-scenes master identity. Realizing this, he decides to put on an act. After telling the girl the curse has been lifted, he picks up a storybook from this world, explaining that the curse was placed by the dying demon god Diablo, that all heroes' descendants would rot. But now someone has distorted history, calling this phenomenon demonic possession, causing descendants to face public scorn. At this point, the protagonist almost slips up, because the girl wants to know who the mastermind is. Just then, a bottle on the table gives him inspiration. It's the Diablo cult, some people attempting to resurrect the demon god, and their mission is to secretly prevent this conspiracy. From now on, the girl will be called Alpha, the second in command of his Shadow Garden organization. Thus the protagonist begins developing his organization. On the surface, he appears composed, but behind the scenes, his influence continuously expands. Soon it's the year his sister Clea turns 15. At this age, nobles must attend the Magic Swordsman Academy. However, on the day of departure, she unexpectedly disappears. The kidnapper is clearly a master. Clea is the family's finest, yet she was taken overnight without making any sound. While the family is thrown into chaos, the protagonist remains calm. This is now the opportunity for Shadow Garden to demonstrate its power.